to Tier 2 F1Rl. We're back in the lovely city of Japan, Suzuka International Racing Course. We're joined by the usual lobby in today's race. If you haven't already, guys, also do join our Discord server. We're always looking for more racers. Let's look for a clean race today. Around Japan. Dangerous track. And wheel players will be benefited. Harder to race on controller around this track, of course. So let's just hope everyone makes it through the turns and no one crashes anyone else. Here we are then. Let's see the grid as what we have today then. So we do have BCX Pro in the Alpine, BP Reggie in the Aston Martin, Leighton in the Haas, Connor in the AlphaTauri, Latifi in Alfa Romeo, Elite Shots in the Mercedes, Mayer in the McLaren, Farrell in the Williams, Cal in the Alpine, Demizzi in the AlphaTauri, as I seem to have no game sounds. There we go. Nova in the Ferrari, Jamaican Bacon in the Williams, J7BP in the Red Bull, on our title challenger, potentially could win the title this race in Japan, Nightowl in the Mercedes. We'll get into how he could potentially win the title tonight shortly. Neo in the Aston Martin, Massa in the McLaren, Andy Moore in the Red Bull, FaZe Kermit in the other Alfa Romeo, Shredder Meats in the Haas, and DWR Flames in the Ferrari. Let's get on board with Connor Robb, as he will be one of the first cars to cross the line for the fastest lap, or provisional pole lap, I should say, even. Let's get the track map on as well, so we can track where all drivers currently are in relative track space. But yeah, in today's F1Rl Tier 2 race around Japan, we will see potentially Nightowl to win the Tier 2 championship, Drivers' Championship. You only need a P3 finish to win today's championship. So we could see Nightowl well and truly on course to win the championship today. Taking these corners lovely on the warm-up lap. But anyway, let's get back on board with Connor Robb, who has pitted. Was it not Connor Robb that was out? Not too sure. Let's go on board with Demizzi then. Demizzi will be the first car to cross this line to start the fastest lap. Onto the long straight they go. Around the first corner, carrying a lot of speed through this corner. That's what you want to do. Hug the track on the outside. Lovely. Into the S curves. Carrying as much speed as possible through this section is very important. This corner here is very dangerous. A lot of drivers can easily make mistakes going through their low traction area of the track. There's a purple sector 1 for Demizzi. Provisional pole lap on course to beat, and runs wide. Runs wide, hits the inside curb and goes wide. That won't be a great lap. Let's now go on board with the second Aston Martin, Neo on the inters, looking up for a warm-up lap. Needs to get out of the way of, I believe, the Williams driver of Jamaican Bacon. No, it's Farrell. Farrell on a push lap here. Will we see Farrell do anything nice around here? We shall find out shortly. Game looks beautiful. Is that mocking it? I'm not too sure. If it is, I can easily change some of the settings to make it look a little bit nicer. Anyway, on board with Pharrell here. Purple sector 2. That's what we like to see from the Williams driver. Round the 2 last corners. And now straight to the line. What will Pharrell set? 1:29.3. That's an impressive lap from the Williams lads. Let's go on board with Nightowl. Of course, championship potential here today. Nightowl will want to try and stick this on pole to make his job as easy as possible to win this championship today. Of course, there is always another day. We have got a couple races left of the season. Just a handful. Nightowl, P2 to cross the line, 28 flat. Beefy Reggie, of course, sets the pole lap for now. Will the likes of Nova be able to challenge for that pole position or provisional pole position? I'm not too sure. However, Nova could have the pace today. Touching that inside curb, a little bit dangerous. Gets on the speed nicely though. A little bit shaky through that sector. Those loop of corners. On the power early. This could be a decent lap for Nova, potentially putting them inside of the top 10 here. Will get a little toe and a little bit of dirty air from the cars in front. Isn't great going around the corners, but will be great on the straight. Red Bull slowing down a lot. Has to make the Ferrari get out the way, as well as the McLaren. Around the last 2 corners here. And it will be Nova to cross the line for P8. Not terribly bad. Not a terrible lap at all. Let's go on board with Leighton. Down the straight. Crossing over the bridge section. We want to try and get a toe from the Mercedes. The Mercedes says no. Leighton though. What can he do? Can Leighton put themselves up in that top 3? We shall find out shortly. Leighton's crossed the line. P8. Not terrible. Not great though. Elite shots. The Mercedes teammate. Second driver by Mercedes in order of points. That is. What will elite shots do anyway? Let's see. Elite shots. 2. Potentially cross the line here. Very shortly. Into sector 3. Elite shot goes. Round the final corner. And it's elite shots to the line for P14. Mustn't have had a very good first sector, as it's getting a little bit crowded up near the front. A lot of cars behind each other here, looking to try and not impede each other. However, always has the possibility to do that. Pharrell on an outlap, going slowly, letting the Ferrari past, or letting the Alfa Romeo past even. Great driving etiquette there from the Williams driver. Phase Kermit across the line, goes into the pits instead. Leighton, plus 22 seconds on the original lap. Looking to just try and get to the pits as soon as possible to try and get out on another lap. Nightowl into the pits as well. Didn't think they could improve. However, was 1.5 temps up. Or down on their original time even. No, up on their original time. Meh, P15. Having a bit of a meh. However, will start a very big push lap now. Can this be big from the McLaren driver? Can the McLaren driver prove me wrong? By the looks of it, it's not going that way. A little bit slidey through Sector 1. Through the S-curves. Runs wide, and I believe that will be the end of that push lap. Looks to be the end of that push lap. Mare is having a mare at the moment. However, I'd like to see Mare do good this race. I really would. I'd like to see Mare stick it up into the top 8 positions around there. On board here at BCX though. BCX, a man tearing up Tier 2 since he's arrived in the Alpine. Consistent finishes in the top 10 for BCX here. Can BCX add another one to that list? We'll find out very shortly. Pharrell has retired. I'm not sure if that was a driver. I'm not sure if that was a driver issue. Or it was like a crash. I'm not too sure. But BCX though, through Sector 2. Pushing this car on the limits. Giving the car behind a little bit of a tow. Giving the Alfa Romeo a bit of a tow. Is that the Alfa Romeo of Latifi though? It is. Latifi 3 temps up here. Could set a very nice lap. Let's see. As Latifi gets the little toe behind BCX. BCX sticks it P14. Latifi sticks it P4. Cow. Not looking to improve currently. 2 temps down on the original lap set. However, we will ride on board here with Cow still. The Alpine in P6. Doing a little bit better than the Alpine in P14, who has retired from the race. Not fully sure why or how. But the Alpine has retired. The teammate of Cow's. Cow through the final 3 corners though. Very nice rotation on that last corner. Into the pits. Doesn't want to set the lap. Doesn't want to finish the lap. Was it that bad? I'm not too sure. Nova though. Purple Sector 1. This driver's on fire. In the Ferrari. Red is the colour. Hopefully that Alpha doesn't get in the way. Avoids a collision. Can Nova set a purple Sector 2 though? Nicely done on the power. There's a McLaren around in Sector 2. And the Ferrari driver backs off after having a purple Sector 1. That is Mare that is around. Mare is definitely having a bit of a mare here today. As Mare is around. Latifi though. Is Latifi going to set a lap? The red fuel indicates to me that potentially a lap won't be set. However, I'm not quite sure on the fuel. Massa goes P1. That was a lap time I missed. Demizzi to cross the line. P7 beating the Alpine of Cow. That's a pretty decent lap for Demizzi. Demizzi, of course, will be looking to improve on that lap. As Galatasaray equalised the score 3-3 against Manchester United. Not what I want to see as a Manchester United fan. Anyway, we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the F1 that's happening in front of us. Leighton goes wide. Not what you want to see from the Haas driver there. Will Shredded Meats follow it up? I don't think so. 5 seconds down on the lap originally set. Not what you want to see. Let's go on board with Neo here. Neo, 6 temps up. Not quite sure if that was a purple Sector 1, but Neo might be cooking here. Let's have a little look to see if Neo is cooking as much as he bigged up before the race. Saving the ERS has stopped the ERS hot lap deploy. It's interesting there from the Aston Martin driver. Jamaican Bacon, though, looks to be on a lap. Potentially. Ooh, Jamaican Bacon loses the rear end there in the S-curves. Not what you want to see. However, has a lot of fuel left, I believe. Is now turned the deploy off. So looks to potentially go for another push lap very shortly. With Jamaican Bacon being the only one out on a push lap, I believe. As, no, actually, Nova's 5 temps up here. But on no battery deployment. Not what you want to see. Let's go back on board with the Williams driver. The Jamaican Bacon. A little bit of an onboard to get some cinematic shots of that Williams driving very nicely around the Suzuka International Racing Circuit. Very nicely done in some nice weather conditions. Let's get a little cinematic mode on this Williams car. Of course, I'm a little bit biased towards the Williams. I am a very big Williams fan. Of course, driving for the Williams in Tier 1. However, let's see this lap from the Jamaican Bacon then. What will Jamaican Bacon set? Already in P3. Looking to improve on that, of course. Carries a lot of speed through that first corner. Now entering the S-curves. What can Jamaican Bacon do? Keeps it nicely on track. Very nicely done there from Jamaican Bacon not to lose the rears in that tricky traction area. Cuts a lot of that curb, which you want to see perfectly on the power here. Get some good rotation through this sector. This could be a potential pole lap here. Purple sector 1. Will Jamaican Bacon go purple sector 2 though? It's well and truly possible. Nice power down on the exit of the corner there. Nice lot of battery left. There won't be any toes. Unfortunate. However, still Jamaican Bacon pushes up on the original time. 2 corners remain. If you can nail these 2 corners, potentially pole is on the way through. Final corner to the line. Jamaican Bacon goes P3 still. Not enough improvement to make that P1 position count. BP Reggie though. What can BP Reggie do? First lap, he went provisional pole. Keep this as a reminder. Jamaican Bacon in the wall at the end of the straight. BP Reggie though. Through the S-curves. Very aggressive on the throttle. What you like to see. This could well and truly be our pole lap here. Will it be a purple sector 1? Surely it has to be. It's a purple sector 1 here for BP Reggie. Will we see BP Reggie go for this pole here? He's pushing that car as much as he can push. Driving on the limits. BP Reggie looking to make a purple sector 2 here. And spins! That will be the end of BP Reggie's qualifying. Massa on a lap. Can anyone stop Massa? Can anyone stop Massa here? J7 BP 2 temps up. If he wants this pole, he can have it. Reggie messing up his original lap. There'll be a race to the line between Massa and J7 BP. As Massa runs wide. Massa has run wide. J7 BP. Can you take the pole? Cow goes P4. Latifi in the wall. J7 BP 5 temps up. Can this be pole? 2 corners remain. Nightowl goes pole. J7 BP P2. Nightowl seems to have snuck it past. Can Andy Moore disrupt the party at the front? I don't believe so. It's not looking like he will. Wow. How does Nightowl do it? Every time he sticks that Mercedes on pole. Consistency. Speed. What a drive. What a quali. Nightowl, of course, only needing P3 to win the championship today. Is he on his way? Sitting in P1. We well and truly might be seeing our championship crowned here today in Japan. So here will be our qualifying order for Japan. Nightowl in the Mercedes P1. J7 BP P2. Massa P3. BP Reggie P4. Jamaican Bacon P5. Cow P6. Latifi P7. Demizzi P8. Leighton P9. FaZe Kermit P10. DWR Flames P11. Elite Shots P12. Neo P13. Shredded Meats P14. Nova P15. Pharrell P16. Andy Moore P17. BCX P18. Not a great qualifying from the Alpine driver. Mare P19. Having a bit of a mare in qualifying. And XD Connor Rob in 20th. As the drivers now pick their tyre strategy, I'm going to tell you the preferred strategy here. Potential for a wet race, but if the race was to be dry the whole time, it's normally the hards to the mediums. However, these drivers will have their own strategies here today, and with their own setups as well. Some will be better in the straights, some will be better tyre saving. We shall find out which of those drivers have got the better setup and which of the drivers have got the better tyre strategy very shortly once this race kicks off. As all the drivers are now on grid, we will remind you yet again today, Nightowl only needs P3 to win today's championship. And it's lights out and away we go. Down to the line here. Nightowl keeps P1 going into the first corner. Massa getting overtaken by Latifi by the looks of it. Maybe BP Reggie squeezing Massa to the limits here. Little bit of contact towards the back. There's contact, a lot of contact. Leighton's retired from the session. What has happened there? I am not sure. That's got to bring out a safety car. Or at least a VSC. It's a full safety car here. Nightowl on the hards. J7 BP on the mediums. Massa on the mediums. Reggie on the hards. Jamaican Bacon on the softs. Taking a gamble. Latifi on the mediums as well. Cow on the mediums. DWR Flames on the hards. Elite Shots on the softs. Neo on the hard tyre. So this is the hards. So it's mediums to hard or soft, medium, then hard predicted. But under the VSC, which should change to a full safety car, because I believe that safety car is out on track towards the back of the grid, towards the start of the S-curve section. But that was a lot of contact at the middle of the pack there. I believe you have the likes of Shredded Meats potentially involved in that, as well as Andy Moore and potentially even Mare. I'm not fully sure. Elite Shots has picked up a 10 sec or a somewhat of a time penalty. Let's just double check the length of that time penalty, and let's also check the reasoning for that time penalty as well. So it is a 5-second time penalty for Elite Shots and Neo, as Neo is continuing here. Potentially front wing damage for Elite Shots under that safety car. Now, I know DWR Flames has definitely got some sort of damage. Let's have a look at Neo, Elite Shots also getting a new front wing change. That is 2 drivers in the pits here, and as well as a BCX potentially in the pits for a front wing change as well. Not fully sure on that one though. Let's just double check in the racing director. Let's check for the incidents. So it looks to have been Farrell collision with Andy Moore, and then Andy Moore collision with Farrell. A little bit of wheel to wheel by the looks of it, and then that caused Leighton to have terminal damage, and also 2 other cars, Cow and FaZe Kermit, to also collide, and then a severe collision from Neo and Elite Shots, both giving them a 5-second time penalty, and then Neo of course getting first track limits corner cutting warning. Did the likes of Elite Shots make the right decision to box, get that 5-second time penalty off of them? I'm not sure, but Neo seems to have thought, I better stay out here with the 5-second time penalty, and hopefully it won't affect me too much when I next pit, because unless Neo is wanting to go 25 laps on the hard tyre compound, is very possible to do that. However, the tyres will be extremely bad grip rate, which won't be good in terms of racing and race pace. You could well and truly see those hard tyres give out and potentially even get a puncture within that lap 19 range, if drivers are wanting to go long, that is. But in the midst of all this chaos at the beginning, we do see Nightowl still leading this race. Of course, leading the championship, only needing a P3 finish to win to win the season's championship even. But of course, we'll be looking to win today no matter what, as we do see J7BP go slightly side by side under the safety car. But let's take a look at position changes. Who lost the most out of that start and who gained the most? Let's have a little look, shall we? So these are all the tyres and their lifespan, or how much they've broke, or no, how much they've lasted. My brain's not functioning at the moment. But anyway, let's check on the positions. Maybe we shall see a couple drivers change positions. So Met is up 7 positions. Demizzi down 7 positions. Leighton, of course, unlucky to DNF and have to retire the car from terminal damage after an incident towards the start of the race. Sorry everyone there, I had to quickly deal with something. But we do have the likes, a little bit of contact under the safety car there from Mare, as it looks to be an AlphaTauri in Ghost, potentially causing a bit of chaos towards the back. XD Connor Robb has, I believe, disconnected once again. Let me check if they're on my friends list, and let me check if I can invite them back to this race. I cannot. They are not online if they are on my friends list. So if one of the drivers could potentially invite XD Connor Robb back, that would be great. However, safety car is in this lap. Nightowl will pace the crowd here, as we see DWR Flames retire under the safety car. A little bit strange there from the Ferrari driver. But anyway, Nightowl will lead us to the line. When will he go? He has gone. Followed by J7 BP, followed by Massa, followed by BP Reggie. BP Reggie trying to get around that McLaren. Can he do it? Wheel-to-wheel action. Side by side. Going into the S curves. A little bit of wheel bashing there. As BP Reggie looks to make the move stick. Pharrell also side by side now with Neo. Gets past Neo by the looks of it. A little bit of contact made from behind between the Ferrari and the other McLaren. As Neo goes wide. Sends Mare through. And Latifi's DNF'd. That brings out another safety car. As there is cars all over the track. Off and on it. Wow. What a start to this race. BP Reggie getting past Massa. Pharrell also getting past the likes of Nova and Neo by the looks of it. And Andy Moore has now got past TTLR Neo. I think Neo needs to box in this situation to potentially get rid of that 5-second time penalty. That 5-second time penalty won't be great. As Latifi has said, throttle jammed, so could not brake. Did Latifi straight line someone? I'm not sure. I didn't see it from my angle, but maybe there was contact. I'm not too sure. As a little update on the football game, it's not looking good for Manchester United, as I want to cry. But we have some F1 to commentate over, so I can't cry yet. No crying yet. No crying yet. Anyway, we have Nightowl leading this race. Yet again, leading under the safety car. Who will pit? Who will not pit? I'm not too sure. As we have seen Neo finally enter the pits here. Clearing off that 5-second time penalty. And Domizzi also entering the pits. Potentially for a new front wing. We will check now in the race director. Domizzi has pitted for a new front wing with a stop time of 8.2 seconds. That has allowed Neo to jump Domizzi, even with a 5-second time penalty. Of course, in that 5-second time penalty, no mechanic can work on the cars. As I believe potentially there is some wing damage for people. Neo gets a multiple track limit warning, I believe. And it looks to be Jamaican Bacon has picked up some front wing damage. His right end plate is missing. That is some visible damage on the Williams driver's car. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all. The front right end plate of that Williams car is missing. That will affect the Jamaican Bacon through most corners, if not all of them. As we do see the likes of Nova still in P8. Mare up into P9. Mare might have not, or might have stopped having mares. Mare might have stopped having moments of madness here. We could see Mare potentially climb the ranks even more. Oh, and that is Mare having a mare. Well. Sometimes you just can't speak highly of people because that happens. Mare's crashed under the safety car. That is very unfortunate for Mare. And Jamaican Bacon also picks up a 5-second time penalty under the safety car for speeding in the pit lane. Will they wait to do that time penalty? They won't. The mechanics won't. Straight on with the new front wing though. Jamaican Bacon will be starting from towards the back under the safety car restart. Hopefully Nova didn't receive any damage from Mare. Mare's, what is the word? Antiques? Antiquates? I'm not too sure. You guys know what I mean. Hopefully there is no rear wing damage on that Ferrari, because that will affect that Ferrari car a lot. And when I say a lot, it's not nice having rear wing damage around Suzuka. You'll lose around 10 to 15 miles an hour, or kilometers an hour even, on the straights. And then around the corners, the rear end likes to slide out a lot more than what it already does around Suzuka, which is not a good thing. So hopefully there is no rear wing damage on that car from Mare having a bit of a mare, as Manchester United have drew to Galatasaray, which makes people just want to cry even more. Out the Champions League. Bottled it again. United. Anyway, we have got Nightowl still leading this Grand Prix. 2 safety cars in. How many more will there be? My prediction is hopefully none now. We have got a lot of clean drivers on this grid, but of course it can get a little bit antsy when trying to make positions here and there. You don't want to see any more incidents, but you never know. This is F1Rl. There most of the time is a new winner every week. Until Nightowl, of course, rocks up and wins every time. However, the Mercedes driver looking to make a potential win on this championship with a win in the race. I believe there still might be a trophy reward at the end. I'm not too sure, so I cannot comment no further on that. But Nightowl looks to win Tier 2 Season 2 here. As we have seen the safety car come in this lap. Can Nightowl defend J7BP and BP Reggie once again here? It's a clean getaway from Nightowl. As we see BP Reggie make a move on Massa. Both cars inside each other. J7BP looks to have made the move. He has made the move. Will he try and make a move on J7BP here? I'm not too sure if he will, but it's looking like he won't, as there's a slow car in the distance. Is that Pharrell? No, it looks to be Cow. Cow looking like he's getting overtaken, and there's another safety car. There's another safety car. What happened there? I'm not even sure what happened there for that safety car to happen. As we now have our third safety car. Probably only about 2 laps of racing have been raced so far. Are we going to hit the limit of the safety cars? We well and truly could hit the limit of the safety cars here. 3 safety cars in 7 laps. It shouldn't be that difficult to stay on track. But these drivers are proving Japan is a tricky circuit. A lot of drivers on controller here, by the looks of it, struggling to move their left stick left and right to turn. Of course, there probably is a lot more to it than that, but I wouldn't know. I am a wheel user. Some people are saying only 11% on mediums. Is that mediums that have started from the start of this race? Because if that is, it could be a medium soft strategy for a lot of these drivers here, unless the rain does come. There was some mentions of some rain and potentially a wet race. However, it looks pretty clear out on that track so far. Could there be rain anytime soon? I'm not too sure. Could we potentially get a driver check or update on that rain? That would be very nice. As we have got some people pitting here for some new tyres by the looks of it. We have got the likes of Cal, Demizzi, BCX. I believe the Jamaican Bacon as well again. That is not looking good for Jamaican Bacon. 2 pit stops already, potentially. As Demizzi has also done a 2-stop strategy. I think a lot of these drivers could potentially be on a 3-lap or 3-stop strategy here after all of these safety cars. No rain expected. So was the no rain expected apparently. So it could well and truly be just no rain. Could we see a dry Suzuka circuit for the rest of this race? I believe we could here. Let's look at some of these tyres. So J7BP is reporting only around 11 to 12% on those medium tyres. 7-lap old. That means those medium tyres could theoretically go until, I believe, lap 15, maybe even lap 16, 17. It could be lap 17 mediums in the pits to 10 lap old softs, or do 10 laps on the soft tyre compound here. The strategy for a lot of these drivers will be different. Of course, you have the likes of the Jamaican Bacon on the hard tyre compound, looking to go till the end, I believe. Also have the likes of Shredded Meats on the mediums. New mediums could also last till the end if the safety car conditions continue as the way they are currently. However, Elite Shots on the soft tyre compound, I don't know if that will happen or will the softs last till the end of the race, but that's where the third stop strategy could come into play. A lot of drivers complaining about losses of front wings, and so that, I say, it's a bit of a skid issue. I'm only joking, of course. But let's get a quick little update on the championship. As it stands in Tier 2, we have Nightowl leading the championship, followed by Risky Biscuit, aka Latifi. BP Reggie sat in third, Massa sat in P4, Jason BP sat in P5, and Pharrell and Fraser sat in P6 and 7. That is the two Williams drivers there. So currently, as it stands, Nightowl only needs to a P3 or higher finish to win this race, and currently leading this race. I think Nightowl might have it in the bag here today. We could see a championship crowned in Suzuka. Jason BP, of course, looking to potentially gain some points on Massa and Risky Biscuit, of course. Being in P2 currently, with Massa down in P4 and Risky Biscuit retiring from the session due to a pedal failure, I believe we could well and truly see J7BP jump 3, maybe even 4 drivers towards P2 for a P2 finish in the championship currently after Suzuka. Of course, there is still a few more races left. I believe there is 2 more after this. There is 2 more races left. We have got Brazil and ending it on Saudi Arabia just before the Christmas break. But we could well and truly see here a lot of these drivers get good finishes here. Of course, we have Tier 1 tomorrow at 7 o'clock GMT. Tier 1 round 8 of Japan as well, where we're looking to see an interesting battle shape up for the championship. It looks to be set in stone that Harbs or Jack B could win the championship, but Tier 1 is very even right now. Tier 1, we have got 3 drivers all within 5 points from each other. I myself am only 24 points away from... No, yeah, I'm 34 points away from potentially winning this championship. However, a bad game error sent me out of it. But we are racing once again here in Tier 2. Nightowl still leading. Massa making the move on Massa making the move on BP Reggie. BP Reggie has the inside line though, going into this corner. Defends very nicely. The Ferrari driver runs a little bit wide, slightly behind. And most of the drivers now have got a little bit of gap, a little bit of racing room. Neo and FaZe Kermit going at it once again. Can Demizzi stay his name into this situation? He is trying to, and it's looking like he might. A little bit more of a battle coming up from behind between 3 or 4 drivers towards the back of the grid. BCX and the Jamaican Bacon. Who is going to be able to overtake here? We shall find out very shortly. Jamaican Bacon down to the inside. Lovely move on the inside of the corner. Takes the position. And we have just seen Jamaican Bacon lose a little bit of the rears there. And that has allowed Elite Shots to go straight past them both. BCX down into P13. Jamaican Bacon in P14. As we go back to the front here. Jason BP on the back of Nightowl. Looking to make a move down that straight. Can't quite get it. Set in purple sector 2s. on board here with JSMBP, of course. The Red Bull driver chasing down that Mercedes. Is this the Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton we always wanted in F1? We shall find out very shortly. Nightowl, of course, leading. Little bit of position changing towards the back here between Nova and Pharrell. JSMBP on the back of Nightowl. Nightowl, of course, only needs to stay in front of JSMBP for a potential win. And potential win of the championship, as Massa has spun around, I believe. Massa around towards the back now of this pack. Too wide into the corner between Cow and Massa. Massa just forces Cow out of it just a little bit. As we see a Ferrari go wide there as well, down in the corner. As we see now the Ferrari get overtaken by not once, but not twice, but 3, maybe even 4 times. The Ferrari defending the position, trying to anyway. Trying to get something out of this. Dropping crazily. Nova off the pace. Potential damage down into P12. A loss of 8 positions there. 3 drivers run wide in front. As we see the Mizzy get overtaken by the Jamaican Bacon. There are battles heating up all over the place here. This fight in the back of this middle pack here is crazy, as we see Massa make a move on Andy Moore. Andy Moore down in P8, now down in P9, gets overtaken by Elite Shots as well. DRS enabled. Now this is a DRS train you need to be a part of to have any chance of catching up to those leaders. A 4.4 second gap separates Pharrell and BP Reggie for P4 and 5. As Neo gets past Pharrell here. But Pharrell will like to try and fight this back into the S-curves. Can't quite do it though, a little bit too far back. However, will still try to look to make the move. Back to the race leaders then. J7BP on the back of Nightowl within 5 tenths of the car behind. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. That is an Alpine going slowly. That is BCX Pro. BCX Pro around, not what you want to see at all. Cow also looks to be around here, dropping position after position. 6 positions lost in 1 corner. That is unlike Cow there. Make it 7. Shredded Meat says, go straight through up into P11. Now trying to chase down on P10. Andy Moore. Shredded Meats looks to try and do it and spins. Probably won't be able to do it. Cal takes the position back. Shredded Meats, P12. Nightowl still P1. JSMBP though, a nice exit. Using all that battery. Can we see a little drag strip straight to the line? Looks to be J7BP. J7BP in P1. J7BP now leads this race on the 12-lap old medium tyres. Of course, Nightowl won't be very happy with that. Will look to try and potentially fight it back through the S-curves. Nightowl looking to potentially go long. Potentially needs another pit stop in there. J7BP also needs another pit stop in there. Will both of these drivers look to go onto the softs? I'm not sure. But we will see a nice little battle here forming between the Jamaican Bacon and Pharrell. Will team orders come into play? Will there be any second driver energy between these 2 drivers? As Pharrell looks to be defending the inside line still. Going into this corner, and Jamaican Bacon with a lovely send past the other Williams driver of Pharrell. Pharrell not quite having the grip he needs. 12-lap old soft tyres. Maybe needs to get into the pits. Chuck on a new set of mediums. Or is this a little bit of a teamwork from the Williams drivers to potentially allow Pharrell to go long inside of the slipstream of the Jamaican Bacon? I'm not too sure. But we will have Nightowl here try and make a move on J7BP potentially under the DRS. ERS deployed for Nightowl. Can we see the move made into the first corner? We won't be able to. Nightowl just that little bit too far back. A little bit too much aero in that car. Not enough straight line speed to get that move done. Pharrell drops into the pits. Pharrell goes. Will it be the medium tyres? Will it be the hard tyres? It is going to be the medium tyres. Also, a new front wing for Pharrell. Was there a little bit of contact made when overtaking his teammate? I'm not too sure. We'll still have Nightowl and J7BP fighting for this lead of the race here. I believe Nightowl is just going to let J7BP lead on the medium tyres. Of course, Nightowl on the hard tyres. The hard tyres should be able to go longer than the medium tyres here. I believe Nightowl just wants to sit inside of that DRS space, inside that slipstream, and just get a free ride, save the tyres. Don't need to push as much as J7BP does. Gap is starting to form though between these leaders. J7BP 5 tenths to Nightowl. Nightowl nearly 5 seconds clear of J7BP. But also we have now Neo slowly catching the teammate of BP Reggie. Slowly but surely, Neo is closing down the gap here. Demizzy on the back of the Jamaican Bacon here. Can Demizzy try and make a move? On the soft tyre compound, going to have more grip than the car ahead. Under DRS, using all of the ERS possible, side by side, down to the first corner. Demizzy is ahead. Will Jamaican Bacon try and fight back? Of course, no battery on the car ahead of Jamaican Bacon to try and defend a position here. Can Jamaican Bacon get past? We'll find out very shortly. As we have also seen the first pit of the front three. BP Reggie has pit for the medium tyre compound. Jamaican Bacon picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings of, I believe, track limits, potentially corner cutting. Not what you want to see from the Williams driver, however, has a lot of pace. Will look to try and climb still. Demizzy holding on for his life here. Maximum battery being deployed. And there's a yellow flag. Cow looks to be in the wall here in sector 1 into the S-curves. Is in the wall off the track. Car is retired. Cow leaves the session. 5 DNFs this session so far. J7BP getting closed in on by Nightowl. Nightowl looks to make the move to the inside. Can't quite make it done. Not enough distance between them both. Demizzy into the pits. Has Demizzy got the free stop perfect here? We'll find out very shortly. Demizzy into the pits for, I believe, the medium tyre compound. It will be the medium tyre compound. There will be also a front wing change. And, of course, the 5-second time penalty wait. J7BP, though, in P1. Flying in that Red Bull. Trying to create some distance between himself and Nightowl. But Nightowl is always on the back of this Red Bull. Just staying within the DRS range. Just soaking up the usage of the tyres ahead. These medium tyres must be roughly around 50% used right now, if I had to guess. Maybe even 60, pushing 70. And I believe the hards will be around 40%, if I had to guess. Of course, F123 doesn't like to give us the tyre temperatures or any of those sort of stats or tyre usage. But you have to kind of assume, based off your knowledge of the game. And I've got a feeling that we could see J7BP pit here. Could we see it happen? We won't see it happen. Nightowl, however, has pit for the undercut. Will it be 10 laps on the softs? Will it be mediums for 10 laps? It looks to be the mediums for 10 laps. Could we see J7BP now pit for the soft tyres, do 9 laps on the soft tyres, and potentially have the better pace on those? Of course, J7BP will now be getting undercut, not only just by Nightowl, also by BP Reggie, potentially. BP Reggie comes out of the pits, not too far behind Nightowl. There was once a 4-second gap. That gap is now only a couple tenths. Shredded Meats in P2 somehow. How has Shredded concocted this then? Shredded Meats up into P2, 9 lap-old mediums. Those mediums could go till the end, I believe, if Shredded Meats treats them nicely. Could we see Shredded Meats potentially even on a podium here today in Japan? Which I find out very shortly. Of course, Nightowl sitting in P3 currently. No need to push. However, looks to be pushing. Looks to be trying to make a move on the harsh driver. On the grass here, BP Reggie goes through. Can BP Reggie also make a move? When onto the grass, those tyres won't have as much grip as Nightowl's. Nightowl goes past BP Reggie once again. Order resumes the same as it was a lap before. Massa now catching BP Reggie and Nightowl. Not what you wanted to see. J7 BP has gone onto the soft tyres. We could be seeing a masterclass in strategy here from J7 BP. Will those softs last till the end? That is the only question. I think they could. As we will see Nightowl and J7 BP to the line. Oh, J7 BP keeps the position ahead. Shredded Meats defending lovely from Massa. Massa, of course, trying to get past Shredded Meats as quick as possible in the S-curves. Can't quite get the move done. Will try and stick it around the outside here. Very dangerous. Backs off of the move. Clean driving there from the McLaren and the Haas driver of Shredded Meats. Of course, this McLaren looks to be a little bit faster and looks to be a little bit eager to try and get past Shredded Meats here. Shredded Meats just defending perfectly like a prime Sergio Perez. Will he defend the inside line? Doesn't quite defend it, but Massa doesn't take the inside line going into that corner. There could have been a lovely dive bomb there, but decides not to try and take it. J7 BP, of course, on the softer tyres, will be trying to create as much of a gap as possible to Nightowl here. Has the potential to do it. Nightowl, 6% battery. J7 BP, 20% battery and using a little bit. We could see J7 BP get out of DRS here, and we could well and truly see J7 BP lead the last 9 laps. No rain expected in a sunny evening in Suzuka, Japan. These are our front two. 1.5 now between them both. It's getting heated. It's getting close. Massa has got past Shredded Meats though. And Shredded Meats now is potentially trying to get the move back on Massa. However, Massa is just a little bit too fast by the looks of it. And looks to just cruise out of Shredded Meats' eyesight. 8 tenths now the gap. 1 second now the gap. Shredded Meats using battery around these corners. Probably slowing the car down in overall. Not a lot of... Hang on. There's a spin. It's J7 BP. J7 BP has span it. J7 BP has span it on the soft tyres. Nightowl is now our race leader. 8 seconds now between J7 BP and Nightowl. 5 between Massa and Nightowl. J7 BP cooks the rear tyres as well. Not what you want to see if you're a Red Bull fan here today. Not what you want to see. Pharrell, P11 currently as well. Catching up to the one and only, the GOAT of motorsport racing, F1 Andy Moore. Of course, Andy Moore has a massive following on TikTok, which is absolutely amazing for him. And he looks to be having a good race here. Sat in P10 currently on the back of Nova. But Pharrell looking hungry. Potentially making this move on Andy Moore very soon. But Andy Moore's just made a superb move there on Nova for P9. Nova sandbagging a little bit potentially. Not what you want to see here from the Ferrari driver. 7-lap-old hard tyres versus the 6-lap-old mediums of Pharrell. We could well and truly see Pharrell get past here. J7 BP has retired. That will bring out a safety car. J7 BP. What happens? What happened to your favourite to win this race going on to the soft tyres? What on earth happened for J7BP? Was it a failure? Was it a lack of concentration? Either way, Nightowl is leading this race. 7 laps remain. After safety car, probably only 5 laps remain. There's been now 6 DNFs in this Tier 2 F1Rl Japan race. As we have heard some information from J7BP, he beached himself on a curb and hit the grass. Tyres couldn't save it and then had rear wing damage. And then span in the S section, the S curbs. Not what you want to see if you're a Red Bull fan. One driver DNFing, however, one driver sat comfortably at the moment in P8. Could box for some soft tyres, however, Andy Moore, if I was you, I would stay out for it, my friend. Chances are, track position here could be very important. 3 lap old mediums compared to new softs should be able to defend. However, Andy Moore will box for some new soft tyres, I believe. Jamaican Bacon stays out on the medium tyres. 4 lap old mediums. Neo also staying out on the 4 lap old mediums. These tyres should make it to the end and they will still be pretty fast. Can't be no more used than 15%. These tyres will last to the end and should be able to cook and potentially get these drivers a podium finish. Of course, time penalties will come into play here. As we will see, the fastest lap point currently going to BP Reggie in the soft tyres. But let's get some penalty checks. We have got some 3 seconds for Jamaican Bacon, Neo, Nova, Demizzi, Pharrell and BP Reggie. All with 3-second time penalties, whether it's for track limits or corner cutting. Either way, they have got some penalties. Not what you want to see from those boys. Pharrell in P11, now behind Andy Moore, the GOAT. Massa, P5, currently is the man to disrupt the championship from Nightowl here today, as well as the other drivers around. Of course, Nightowl only needs a 3rd place finish to win to win the championship today in Japan. P3 finish minimum for Nightowl to win in Japan. So we could well and truly see a nice finish from the driver up today. As we'll get to see a lovely cinematic lap or 2 of the safety car or from behind the safety car. So our order is currently a little bit different to where we started qualifying. Of course, the front 2 on the old medium tyres. However, they should be somewhat fast enough to catch or potentially even distance themselves from the soft runners behind. Nightowl on the soft tyres will look to try and make it past these 2 front runners as quick as possible. The Jamaican Bacon and Neo also both having 3-second time penalties. Maybe Nightowl just wants to stay behind them. I'm not too sure, but Massa will look to try and push hard indeed. Needs to get past the Alfa Romeo of FaZe Kermit before potentially making a move on Nightowl. There is some wing damage there flying away from the Haas car. I believe that is Shredded Meats. So Shredded Meats has got a bit of end plate damage from Massa, I believe, potentially. Brake checking under safety car. Of course, all these incidents will be looked into by stewards if they are reported. So make sure, drivers, to get your incidents reported after the race. We will see a very bunched up field now under this safety car. Who will win? My prediction here today for the race win, it's going to be Massa. I'm going to put all faith in Massa here to potentially win today's Tier 2 race in Japan. However, Nightowl is so consistent. Nightowl could definitely prove me wrong here. Nightowl, of course, only needing P3 finish to win the championship. It's very possible that Massa could win here. However, in the overall standings, I believe Nightowl has definitely won the championship this season. With J7 BP retiring, I believe the only threat to the championship is Latifi, who has also retired this session, which then leaves it to BP Reggie, who is currently down towards the back of the pack here in P12. These are the tyres for everyone in this race. 3-second penalties all around. And they've gone. Neo will lead out in this first lap. Jamaican Bacon under pressure immediately from Nightowl. Nightowl looks to the inside. Can't quite make the move done. Looks towards the inside. Can't quite make the move done. Nightowl is all over the back of this Williams driver. This Williams driver is composed though. He has got composure. He has got ice in his veins. Can he defend from the current leader in the championship? There's a lot of potential here. Jamaican Bacon, 76% battery. Probably wants to start saving. Just stay in the back of Neo. You'll be okay. Face Kermit in P4. Doing a lovely job at holding Massa back for Nightowl. Nightowl, of course, wanting to make this move on the Williams driver. Dive bomb. Sends it. Licks the Samp. Sends it in the post. Nightowl up into P2. Jamaican Bacon won't be taking that lightly though. Will look to try and potentially make a move back on the Mercedes driver. Doesn't quite have the grip though. The tyres, I might have been wrong saying the mediums might be able to stay out a little bit longer. However, we will see now Nightowl go into the lead of this race and Jamaican Bacon up into P2. Could we see now Massa try and make a move on Neo? 7 temps back. I don't think it's possible. Now nearly out of DRS. Jamaican Bacon looks to be the only one that could potentially overtake Nightowl here for the race lead. And Andy Moore has retired. There's been a collision at the back of the grids. What has happened there? I'm not too sure. It won't bring out a safety car though. Andy Moore is in the wall. BP Reggie also in the wall. There's been an incident towards the back of the grid. Nightowl is flying away now. 1.4 second gap to the Jamaican Bacon in P2. Neo P3. Massa sat in P4. 2.5 seconds away from the leader, I believe. Massa making a move on Neo. Gets the move done. Massa now needs to chase Jamaican Bacon to have any chance of winning this race. As there is some more chaos towards the back. Looks to be Nova that has span around. No front wing on Nova. Something has happened towards the back. Incidents will have to be looked at. Stewards will be on the lookout. Schroeder meets, of course, with that damaged front right end plate. Not what you want to see. Pharrell, of course, now trying to make a move on BCX Pro. BCX, though, lovely defending from the lad in the Alpine. Can't let the Williams driver pass. Doesn't let the Williams driver pass. Nightowl, fastest lap of the race. The extra +1 point to the lad. His championship is surely in the bag here. Just don't make any mistakes and he could well and truly be the champion of Tier 2, crowned in Japan. Jamaican Bacon slowly trying to catch up to Nightowl, but I don't think it's enough. Andy was knocked out, very unfortunate. Make sure the incidents get reported to the stewards. BP Reggie in the wall. Can anyone catch up to Nightowl in the championship? I believe not. I believe Nightowl could potentially win a championship here. Massa on the back of the Jamaican Bacon though. Will it be enough? Will the softs give enough grip, enough speed? Will they be fast enough to potentially make a move on the Jamaican Bacon here? Will the move be made under DRS? 7 temps between them both. Seven temps, 4 temps now. That gap is closing. DRS enabled. Will the Williams driver go left? He doesn't. Defends the outside. That is Massa up into P2. Massa, of course, 72 points in this championship. Nightowl, 139 points in the championship. What will we see happen? Could this be a Nightowl championship win in Japan? It could well and truly be. Jamaican Bacon, though. 3 temps behind. 4 temps behind Massa. Can Jamaican Bacon get the move done on track? We shall find out very shortly. Face Kermit. Not too far behind Domizzi in P4. Massa just trying to clear the Jamaican Bacon here. However, Jamaican Bacon 2 temps behind Massa. Only 2 temps in it. Massa, of course, with that better grip coming through those tyres. However, the Jamaican Bacon, 9-lap-old medium tyres. He is racing superbly here. As we've got some information as well on the Andy Moore crash. It was BP Reggie that took Andy out of this race. Not what you want to see. However, stewards will have to look into it after this race. Massa currently P2. 4 seconds behind Nightowl. Is it possible for Massa to win this race? I don't think so. I believe Nightowl has won Japan here. This Mercedes has been on fire all season. Through the S-curbs. Massa now 8 temps gap between himself and the Jamaican Bacon. Nightowl just walking away with this win. Fuel doesn't even come into question. All of these drivers have enough fuel to finish this race. No one underfueled apart from Shredded, who is on conservation mode, fuel saving. Just that little bit extra fuel to potentially get Shredded a P11 finish here. Only 3 temps behind Nova. Could we see Shredded go for a move here down the straight into the first corner? We can't see the move be made. However, we'll go to the inside and makes the move done. Shredded meets round of applause. A brilliant move there. As we'll now go back to the championship winner, Nightowl. Nightowl wins Japan. Will that be enough to secure the championship though? I'm not sure. Massa P2. Jamaican Bacon P3. Domizzi to the line at P4. Due to penalties, we'll go to P6. Kermit P4 now. Elite Shots P5. BCX P7. Neo P8. Pharrell to cross the line for P9. Can Connor Robb get within that time second penalty? I don't think so. Connor could be our P10 finisher here. Believe will be the P10 finisher here. Connor P10. Shredded P11. And Nova P12. Wow. Take a bow to Nightowl. What a race from the Tier 2 Mercedes driver. As the rain starts to now fall. The rain, if only it came a couple laps earlier, we could have seen some interesting racing here today. However, the 4 safety cars, the dramatic ending, and potentially now a championship being crowned in Tier 2. Nightowl, take a bow. That's all you gotta say. Incredible race from Nightowl here in Japan around the Suzuka track. As we are just looping and looping the same thing by the looks of it. Who hasn't finished? It is Nova, who is crawling over the line. Needs to cross the line. Will cross the line. And that will round up our race in Japan today. Elite Shots driver of the day. Personally, I think it's got to go to the one and only Nightowl. Comes out, sits on top of that podium. And that will be our race order. Nightowl wins the Japan Grand Prix Tier 2 race round 8. Massa P2, Jamaican Bacon P3, Kermit P4, Elite Shots P5, Demizi P6, BCX P7, TTLR Neo P8, Pharrell P9, Connor P10, Shredded P11, Nova P12, BP Reggie P13, Andy Moore P14, Jason BP P15, Cal P16, Mare P17, Latifi P18, P19 DWR Flames, and P20 Leighton. 7 DNFs. No, 8 DNFs even. And that will round up our Tier 2 Japan race. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune in tomorrow, 7 PM GMT for Tier 1 Japan. If this was crazy, Tier 1's going to be crazier.